Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we will learn some tricks regarding quadratic equation. As you all know, quadratic equations are very much important for any competitive exams, okay, and it also comes in your NET examination. So that is why we are mainly covering this portion in the part A, okay. So see, these are quadratic equations and there can be four types of quadratic equation. The first one where all is positive, okay. So in case of this type of equation, always remember that both value of x will be negative, okay. Then when the mid term is only negative and other two terms are positive, then the results will be both the results will be positive, okay. And when the constants are negative, there could be two types, okay. When the constants are negative, always remember the value of x, one value will be positive, another value will be negative, and there are two types, okay. There are two types, but remember constants must be negative. Now in your examination, how question comes, they give you two equation, okay. The first one is like ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where you have to find out the two values of x, and in the second one ay square plus by plus c equal to 0, where you have to find out two values of y, okay. And then they ask you to say what options will be correct. And what are the options generally? There are generally 6 options. What are those? Either x is greater than y, then x is less than y, or x is greater than or equal to y, x is less than or equal to y, or x equal to y, or there is no relation between x and y can be determined, okay. And some cases where we cannot determine the relationship between x and y. So let's take an example how you can solve these things by a simple trick. Remember that, okay, we are not, first of all, we are not focusing on type 1, okay, we are starting with type 2. See, if the first equation is like that, where all the values are positive, okay, all these signs are positive, then obviously x will be, both the values of x will be negative. And the second equation where the midterm is negative, then the values of y will be positive. So in this case, you don't need to determine the values, but just by seeing the equations you can say that both the values of x are negative and both the values of y are positive. So obviously x will be less than y, okay. In the next case, see, this is the reverse case where first equation carries negative in the midterm and second equation carries all the positive signs, okay. So obviously from the first equation we can see both the values of x will be positive, and from the second equation both the values of y will be negative. So obviously here x will be always greater than y. So from second, third equation you don't need to calculate the values, just see the equation and you can answer it very easily. Now see the third equation. See here, in both the equation the constant, the c, carries negative value, and as we all know, when constant are negative, okay, then obviously what happens, it could be midterm could be positive, negative or positive, okay. But if, sorry, midterm could be positive or negative, but when both the terms of constant are negative, then x carries positive and negative value, and y also carries positive and negative value. And remember that when we compare it diagonally, the positive value of x is greater than negative value of y, so here x is greater than y, whereas the positive value of y is greater than negative value of x, so here x is less than y. So when we find both x is greater than y and x is greater than y and x is less than y, then we cannot determine the relationship between x and y, okay. Now from these three types of equations we can easily say what will be your conclusion. Either it will be x is less than y, or x is greater than y, or will be there is no relationship can be determined between x and y. Now comes two other types where you need to determine the values, okay. No tricks can be done here. So when both the equation carries positive values, okay, see here also positive, 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 then obviously both values of x will be negative, and here also both values of y will be negative. So here if you we cannot just see it and say it that what will be the highest negative value, x or y. So here we have to determine the values of both x and y. Okay, so here we need to determine the value, then we can only go to the conclusion. Okay, similarly see the fifth equation where both the constant are positive and both the midterms are negative. When midterms are negative, then we know that x carries both positive value and y carries both positive value. So when both the values are positive, 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 here also we cannot determine what will be higher than what or what will be lower than what, okay, less than or greater than what. So here we also need to determine the value of x and y, and then only we can say what is greater than what or what is less than what. Okay, so these three equation 2, equation 3 and equation 4, in these three kinds of quadratic equation, pair of quadratic equation, tricks works, and we can just see it and answer it very quickly. Okay, so this is all about this video. I hope this video will be useful for you guys. Thanks for watching and happy learning.